body up, and we get him out on the track in the super sport class.
So are both your cars ready for practice next weekend if it happens?
If I had to practice, I'd be ready.
Yeah. Right on.
Very cool.
Right on.
We're
Joe's
not,
going to be ready?
we throw fuel in the late model and put a battery charger on it, and
That's
it's ready
it,
to go.
huh?
We have
Right on.
my motor builder said the motor is fine. We're going to run it another year like it is. The body's going to look pretty rough. We're not going to mess with the body for the first couple races, but I could be ready for practice probably tomorrow afternoon if I ride on.
He's ready.
go.
He's ready.
Let's go racing.
So you got
all
two-
night yet. You know, we don't have to go to bed.
You have two cars. You probably need somebody to hot lap one of them, one of the other ones. I mean, if you need anybody, I'm just saying.
Really?
He's offering his
Yeah, I'm
services.
offering. Yeah, I'd love
He's offering
to
his
get out
services.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Hell yeah.
So Steve had a very interesting start to his racing career. If you know Steve and you got to know his history, he actually started way back on motorcycles.
I did. I was I raced Yamaha 80 flat tracking at the old Asbury Speedway in Albany.
Asbury
and
Speedway,
all
yeah.
over the place.
Wow.
My brother was a great flat track rider. A lot of my family's raced flat track. My brother actually got ran over by a bike and was put in the hospital for about 3 months, and my mom at that time said, "You're done." If she only knew how many times I snuck out racing my motor, I would probably wouldn't be here today. So, but no, I started racing motorcycles, raced some dual engine go karts for a while back with Hadley Lovell and Herschel McGriff Jr. and those guys.
Your people.
Yeah.
And we did that for a while, and then proceeded to help out Tony Thomas
I remember Tony.
on his late model when he was about 16.
Yep.
Did that for a couple of years, and then.
So is that how the transition came into stock cars? Was through Tony Thomas?
Yeah, I
Okay.
worked at the plywood mill, and his dad was one of the electricians up there. We hit it off real well, and I went over and helped him for quite a few years. About 3 years, and then found my beautiful wife Andrea, and she actually bought me a race car.
And he married her at the racetrack.
I did.
Wow.
He did. He really
Does
did.
she have a sister?
Yeah, she's a keeper.
No doubt.
You guys got married at the racetrack quite a while ago.
We did. She actually asked me to marry her during the pit meeting. We were standing up in the back. I got called up in the back of the truck during the pit meeting, and she had the announcer announce all this stuff over the PA and asked me to marry her. And I said
cool.
yes.
That's awesome.
That is
awesome.
an
And
easy.
then a year later, we got married on the front straightaway right before the heat races.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was. It's awesome.
Yeah.
She's a keeper. She's
That's when you get a wife that's got the passion for racing that's involved, and she's
And that's
involved.
what it takes.
It does.
Yeah,
It does.
we have a
'cause-
little saying. Used to be on my car. I haven't put it on her for a while, but she's the wind beneath my wings.
Yeah, I remember that.
And
I remember you had it.
that's something we've always kind of been kind of special between me and her, and it works out real well. She's behind me 100%.
That's awesome.
Not always happy with me, but she's behind me 100%.
Well, she sounds like a racer's wife.
She is. She's like
Yeah.
the rest of them. She's a keeper though.
Yeah, that's cool.
She made this all important, and she gets involved in a lot. She'll be really involved in the ribbon sales this year for the cancer deal.
Cool.
Her and Amy Longenecker and a couple other people are going to be down selling ribbons throughout the year in the grandstands. And,
What's always
and
cool,
helping out.
like when you win a trophy dash, Steve will pull up to the wall and you get out there to do your interviews with him, and she's right there with him. She comes down on the track and does the interviews with Steve, and it's cool to see that because it just shows that a tight bond there, and like for it to have Sandy, like I've got Sandy that just absolutely loves this racing thing.
By the way, she's worked her butt off today. I've seen her running around this mall right and left today.
She
and
always
taking
does.
care of people. And
I mean, we work hard. We work hard.
She
in what we
caters
do,
to
but
all of us,
She
too.
is kind of the glue that keeps this whole thing
Yeah.
together.
I needed something to kind of advertise our car over here. We needed a dry erase board. She goes, "So come on, let's go to Hobby Lobby." So we went down to Hobby Lobby. We ran around, and she helped me find what I needed, and it worked out great.
Yep, she's resourceful.
I think she's kind of the boss around here. I'm not sure. I don't know
She thinks
how
she
that
is.
works out. Well,
She's not here right now.
Let me
so,
tell you.
Yeah, whatever.
Let me tell you who the boss around this thing is. It certainly isn't me.
We know. Trust me, we know.
It's cool though, but to have that person to have that same interest, it sure makes life a lot of fun.
We kind of got off subject, but this whole thing rolls right back around to what we're doing with the cancer. If we can make somebody's life happier, if we can be the opposite side of their life, their partner in life, help them out with something, it's all worth it, isn't it?
It absolutely is, and I'm so glad to hear that you guys have sold almost, what you said, almost 60 ribbons today.
Almost 60 ribbons
So
today.
just in that one little bit of time, we've almost $600 worth of money for cancer research.
And actually, you might have getting a couple potential sponsors.
If
on
we
the
could
card.
get you $1,000 this weekend on that deal, we're a tenth of a way there. you know?
That's it. We only got 9,000 left to go.
Well, and that's we can do it, you guys.
Oh, I am not afraid of making that offer at $10,000. The racing community is going to be behind us 100%.
Well, you're one of those guys that's
you'll
always
make
set
it.
your goals high anyway. So, if someone says, "Hey, can you raise 7,000?" Steve will go, "We can do 10. We can do 10."
Right.
Absolutely,
That's right.
Yeah.
You got to have it. You got to shoot high.
Yeah. Hey, can you turn a 15-2? So I'll do a 14-9. I mean,
On two wheels.
watch me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So with the late model, are you going to do any touring? Are you going to do the speed week with the modified? What are your 17
Our
plans?
plans are to do the speed weeks with modified.
All right.
Probably will not go to the California race.
The
I might have
Nationals?
somebody else go to that race. My work schedule sometimes doesn't let me go where I need to go. But we are trying to make as many races as possible with both cars. We haven't actually outlined a complete schedule yet, but we're going to make as many races as possible with both cars and go from there.
What about the second weekend of October in Bakersfield? Will both cars be the Bud Nationals?
We are going to try to go to every out-of-town race after race season is over.
Wow.
All
It's gonna be a long
right.
race season
As
for
many
you.
as we can.
We
you
just
know.
confirmed our first for Bud Nationals.
Well, I think so. I think we can safely say that.
Actually, we confirmed our first two
Well, and
cars.
Steve was the year before last year with the Bud Nationals.
Right.
And that was a kind of a tough go for all the Oregon guys that year.
I had an issue that we didn't catch, made the car really terrible.
Well, it's just one of those things that you don't expect either.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, after a long year of working on cars, we missed something in the rear end. We had a bad bird cage, and it was locking up. Bearings were bad, but we did make the show one night.
Yep.
So it was okay. I mean, for the first time there ever, it was good. It was good.
and that's a tough show. That's a real tough gig. I mean,
So. Wow, that just made my night. I wish everybody could see just what happened. But,
we can't. I can go play by play.
Good thing for radio.
Look at her. She's still smiling. She's
laughing.
walking away.
Oh gosh, that's crazy.
Uh-oh.
I'm getting a finger.
is she coming back?
No.
Wait, you want some more?
I'm going to put the mic down and go find her.
That was funny.
We talked to Lauren, and he wants to get together and possibly make the California shows and the Vegas shows
Vegas.
and
Well,
maybe
those
go to the
guys-
Arizona stuff. I went back to Arizona and watched. That was quite the trip.
Oh,
I got
man.
there. We jumped off the plane.
Bad
we
luck.
went to watch the race at Canyon Speedway. They said, "Oh, by the way, we're rained out the rest of the weekend." So we got our plane trip and came home.
That sucks.
But we watched one
Hi.
good night of racing, and that was an expensive one night of racing.
Well,
It was one night of nice weather as well.
Well, yeah.
I mean, even if it was raining, it was warm.
Yeah.
It was freezing.
Hasn't
here.
been here in Oregon.
And it
yeah.
poured down the next day. Me, Jim Schramm, and Jim Schofield were waiting for our plane, and we were at a casino in a parking garage looking out, and we couldn't see the road because it was raining so hard.
Wow.
Wow.
And
Well,
it
we
was
were down in
75
Vegas
degrees the day before.
in November. We were down in Vegas for the Duel in the Desert. Warren and I were down there, and we bumped into Lauren and
Oh, they were pitted right across
Yep.
from basically where he was hanging out.
yeah. And weren't those guys having fun?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
had a
they
blast.
truly were. They broke out the
Oh, yeah.
Todd's Modified and
And
cut
they
out there
gave big hats off to you for supplying a trailer,
and
a car,
the body and
Well, yeah, he bought the car
know.
like a week and a half before the race.
Yeah,
'cause
right.
Can you have it ready? I said, yeah, sure.
yeah.
Yep.
And then I said, well, you're not hauling it down in an open trailer. Take my car trailer, take my toolbox, take
Yeah.
everything in the trailer.
That was way cool of you.
Yeah,
They certainly appreciated it, and they
Yeah,
let
they're-
us know about it.
They're good people. They're treating me real well this year. They're
Well, it
helping
was
out
just
a
so
lot.
funny because Todd really hasn't spent much time on a modified. Then he goes down to Vegas on that piece of junk racetrack. It was just,
It was,
I
too.
mean, it was more fit for motocross than it was modified.
Somebody said they're having off-road races down there, but they just didn't have the right car.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
They
But,
advertised it wrong.
the thing about it was to watch Todd, and we were standing there when he got out of the car for the first time. The
Oh.
guy gets out and
Just
a smile bigger than you've ever seen on
Oh,
a
my
racetrack. I
gosh.
mean, that guy was having fun in that
Oh
car.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Todd, he likes that stuff.
He had a little bit of bad luck. He did get that. He got hit and it sheared off the the left front tie rod. But it was
Right.
such a clean. It didn't bend anything. I don't think. I mean,
I'd actually messed up the right front shock, and they didn't know it.
okay. So,
So
the
they
left,
were-
but
they
the
were
left
struggling
front
the rest.
corner was good.
Yeah,
or it broke was good.
yeah.
But yeah, he was having a great time, and Lauren and those guys just laughing and just they really enjoyed that. It was cool to see that because a lot of guys down there were just, I mean, they're on the edge of serious. It was like you're trying to win the world championship. And
well, like I say, those guys are good people.
They are.
We left the shop last night. We were still lettering the car like at 8:00 last night when I called you and said we're going to be late. So we got over here late. Got over here this morning and I got a phone call from Lauren. I go, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm cleaning the shop." I said, "Oh, is your shop dirty?" He goes, "No, I'm cleaning your shop." He said, "We made a mess. I'm over here cleaning your shop, putting tools away." And he said, "You're going to come home and it's going to be nice." He said, "I didn't want you to come home and see a bad shop." And we weren't even working on his car. It was my car.
Wow.
But, I mean,
you guys have got a partnership there.
We do. He is, I don't want to call him a sponsor. He's more of a partner in this car because him and Valerie and the recreation station, one of their businesses, and First Step Dispensary, they are pretty much taking care of a lot of this expense this year on this car. And as you can tell by the lettering on the car and the major sponsors, they're a big part of this program this year.
I think he's got Nature Quest involved in that too, doesn't he?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty good program you guys have over there. Now he's doing kind of the same thing with you
He is.
on his modified.
Yeah, we took my Harris that they actually ran in Vegas last year that they bought from me, and I've converted that over to a B mod.
Okay.
So he's going to run that as a B mod this year, and actually go home maybe this evening, put the motor and stuff in it if we got time, and
Get it ready for the
I think
first
he'll be
practice.
having a good time. So.
Have it ready for practice tonight, right?
Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow.
Pull an all-nighter and get it done.
We got a few things to do. Yeah, we got some
Yeah.
welding to do, but I mean it's pretty close.
So talking about the sport mods, it's kind of something that's starting to grow here in our area. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of those cars. Now there's the Pacific Sport Mod Challenge with Steve Kurtzlevich is doing all that stuff. We've got a sport mod here. Have you had a chance to look at this number 30 of Mike Medlin?
I come over and looked at it a little while ago and I said, "Man, that's an expensive sport mod. I mean, that car's got some trick stuff on it."
That is hands down the nicest sport mod I have ever seen.
Yeah.
And going down to the Bud Nationals, you see a lot of nice sport mods at that big event. That's a big deal.
Well, some of the best races in the mods that I've went out of town and watched are the sport mod races, the B mods, because they are so close together in motors and car and everything. They're like the crate motors races when we first started.
Yes.
Really close, really tight, lots of lead changes, and make some exciting racing.
That's
they
true.
Were 3 and 4 wide down there at Bakersfield.
Yeah, two things. At the Bud Nationals this last year, we were down there watching the Sport Mod feature. We stood over in turn 3 on top of the Sugar Shack, and we were kind of looking out and we're watching it. And they had a race, and I'm not kidding you guys, for the lead, 4 cars wide, and it stayed that way for 7 laps.
It was
all the way
Bakersfield.
all
Oh
the
my
way
gosh.
around.
That's
It was
barely
for the
wide
lead.
enough for 4 cars.
You couldn't even keep 2 late models side by
Oh
side.
my
for that
gosh,
many
it
laps.
was pretty intense. The crowd, I mean, that was the most excited the crowd got all week. So going to what you're saying about Sport Mods put on great shows, yes, they do. The other thing that you said, going back to comparing the Sport Mods to the crate motors. Now, when you won your last crate motor championship, I was actually on that crew with Steve. I'll tell you right now, of all the drivers I've worked on, all the cars I've worked on since I started working on these late models, I have never been so friggin' nervous watching anybody drive a car as you were in the crate series. Because like you said, I watched Steve at Sunset, and that's the little tight little bull ring up in Banks, go from first back to 6th and back to the lead in about a lap and a half, and I'm going, oh my god! I mean, and the car, like you said, there's a 7-car battle for the lead, and it's like Talladega, and everybody's just kind of.
It was tough, man.
I hated it.
Yeah,
but you pulled off the championship that year.
I did. A couple guys had some bad luck. I had a good, consistent year. We had a great year. Pulled off a championship.
I think it was 7 wins, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and racing at Banks is one thing, but you go to Madras and race, and you get 16 late models at Madras.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Hurry up and wait. Hurry up and wait.
Yeah, that was. I remember shoving Russell sideways down the front straightaway one night, and he got out. His pit crew were really mad at me. I said I had nowhere else to go. I was tied in. So
yeah, that's a tight little track too.
Yeah.
But, man, it is a fair comparison as far as the racing action goes from the mods to the B mods to the crate cars. It is intense racing, and we saw it down there at the Bud Nationals on the big stage was 4 wide for 7 straight laps for the lead. I mean, I don't know how much more intense that can get. But
yeah, what I like about the mods so far that I've only raced them a few times. You've got half the tire, you've got half the motor, and you got to drive twice as hard.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's just like getting 2 races in one. You
Yeah.
know? It's,
Well, you've been in the mods a few times. You've done fairly well. You drove the 22 car for Jimmy a couple times last year, and you got your own last year at the end of the season. Nothing to complain about. You did a pretty good job.
No,
with those cars.
they're fun little cars, and they're. I thought they'd be harder to control, but no, they're good little cars. I mean, that car Jimmy's the GRT, that new one he bought. We had a brake problem in that, but I came from dead last to 8th in about 7 laps in that car. So
well, and it kind of fits. It kind of fits your driving style as far as you can't be real aggressive.